What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made these beautiful, delicious, smoky, plump, amazing one-ingredient sausage. That's right, folks. No binders or any fancy ingredients in this stuff. Perfect for the beginner. Coming up. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I love making sausage. And in one of my videos, I go through all the master ratios that I like to use for making a perfect plump, smoky sausage. And in that video, and in many of the sausage classes I've taught over the years, I always tell people as long as you have your fat content and your salt content correct, you've got a perfectly good tasting sausage that's really just a blank canvas for any other flavor profile you want to go with. But that being said, I was thinking about that the other day, and I've never actually made a just salt sausage. So I figured today, why not give it a try? That's right, folks, today we're making a one-ingredient sausage, and we're going to find out if just salt and proper technique is enough to get a perfect sausage link. So that's what we're going to do today, and it is going to be delicious. This is some meat. Pat it dry. What I got here is a boneless Boston butt, nice big piece of pork. And whenever making sausage and you don't feel like weighing out the proper ratios of fat to meat, a Boston butt is always a great place to start because it's got so much fat on it. So first thing we're gonna do, as always, is cut this up. Take a look at that and remember that you haven't had a pork steak in a while. Probably should get on that. But just cutting that into little cubes, something that'll fit down the meat grinder a lot easier. Help speed up the process, make sure it chills down quicker. You know the drill, folks. Beautiful fat content on that, should work out perfectly. And there we go, just like that, we got ourselves 4 pounds of some beautiful pork butt that I'm now gonna pop into the freezer to make sure we get a nice clean grind. And now that our meat is sufficiently chilled, through the meat grinder we go. Always start your grinders with a loaded horn. Going through the coarse die today, as I typically do. Oh, how you doing? Got excited. Beautiful. And now we got our stand mixer out because it's a pretty small batch of sausage and I'm feeling kind of lazy today. So simply enough, in it goes. We got the paddle attachment on there. Just gonna help get this sausage mixed together and get the proper protein extraction, as opposed to just going by hand, which is what I usually do. And of course, we gotta add our salt. This is 2% salt by weight of meat. You can go 1.5 if you're a little more sensitive to salt, but I like a salty sausage. And while this mixes, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of some water just to help with the tackiness. And I know I said it's a one-ingredient sausage, but water's not an ingredient. And you can't count pork because you can't have a sausage without pork. So I guess if you wanna be a dick about it, there's pork, pork casing, salt, and water. So it's a 4-ingredient sausage, but come on. 10% weight for liquid. Now typically when making sausage, I'm a big fan of using a binder, like milk powder, carrot binder, there's soy binders, all sorts of stuff. And what that does is add protein to the sausage, which helps with protein extraction, giving you a really nice, tight, firm bind, making sure you don't end up with a wrinkly link. But using a binder is definitely not necessary. I spent many years making sausages without using binders, and for the most part had really great results. The main reason I like to use them is because it makes this whole process bulletproof. If we throw a binder into this right now, we would not have to worry about mixing this properly or releasing enough myosin to make sure this meat binds together, because that's what the binder is for. And especially teaching sausage recipes on the internet, I want to make sure everyone has a really easy time of it. So that's why I love using binders. But if you're not going to use one, this step is really important. That's why I'm using the stand mixer, because it's all about getting that proper emulsion and that proper protein extraction to make sure all this sausage stays together. And when you're done, it should look like this, a nice cohesive ball, very sticky, and we should end up with some great links. Nice and sticky. Gotta say, this is kind of weird looking. I've never seen a sausage look so pink. There's usually at least some black pepper or something in there, but should be good. Going on with some hog casings. This is a pork sausage after all. Nothing to see here, folks. It's a long one. Tie it off. Snip the tip. And now we case away. Ooh, nice and plump, folks. You know the drill. This is so pink. Just a big pile of pink wieners. Making these kind of short and plump today, because that's what kind of mood I'm in. Don't ask me why. Here's something you should never say mid-casing. I haven't popped a casing making sausage in months. Let's see what happens now. And just like that, folks, we have reached the end. Live to fight another day without popping a casing. Beautiful. I gotta say, these are some beautiful, plump little wiens, and you could very easily cook these right now, but my schedule does not allow it. So I'm gonna pop these in the fridge just like this, uncovered overnight, which is gonna let that salt work on the meat a little bit, let all the meat get used to its new sausage shape form, and air dry so these casings are nice and snappy. So we'll check back in tomorrow. One overnight later. These sausages are looking absolutely beautiful. Nice and plump, dried out a bit, definitely not wet on top anymore. And most importantly, because they're dried out, now these little ties can be snipped without worrying about sausage exploding out of these things as they cook. So let's go ahead and do that. Looking good. Let's fire up the pit. Now, because these sausages don't have any cure or pink salt in them, we definitely don't want to cold smoke them. And in this context, cold smoking is anything below 200 degrees. And that's because at that temperature, these sausages will be held right in the danger zone and will risk microbial growth in the form of botulism, and we definitely don't want to do that. So basically, we want to cook these hot enough so they're safe to eat, yet low enough and smoky enough that they still get some wonderful color and some wonderful flavor. So as you can see, I'm rocking a real smoky fire right now, trying to burn a pretty inefficient fire to get a lot of thick smoke. This is one of those times that dirty smoke is our friend. But I'm gonna aim to keep the temps right around 200 to 225. And on the pit we go. Keeping it on a wire rack just to make sure they don't get too sooty or dirty, and makes transport real easy. So again, we're gonna rock a nice low and slow, very smoky cook for probably about 3-4 hours. 3.5 hours later, it's time to check in on these sausages. Ooh, looking nice and smoky, feeling nice and plump. So now we're gonna ice bath these to rapidly chill them, shrink up those casings a little bit. Not a necessary step, but it's just to make sure they don't keep cooking and, you know, get all shriveled up on us. Yoink, and there we go. Let these chill for just a minute or two. And as you can see, once these are nicely dried off, we've got ourselves a beautiful little wiener mountain here. Great looking sausages. They're looking a little bit more wrinkly than my typical sausage just because there's no binder in this, so they're not nearly as plump, but they feel nice and firm. So I think once we cook these one more time, they should come out great. But it's at this stage that I would wrap these up, probably pop them in a vac seal, stick them in the fridge, stick them in the freezer for whenever you need them. Because we took them up to an internal temp of around 150, they're nice and smoky, they're fully cooked and ready to go. But behind me here, I've got this pit fired up to about 275. We're gonna pop a few of these on there, cook them all the way up to around 160, 170. So they're nice and snappy, nice and toasty, fully cooked through, and all that fat has a little bit of time to render. So on they go. Boop. Should not take long at this temp, probably about 35-40 minutes. And just like that, off these come, and they are absolutely perfect, nice and plump, looking very nice. I'm very happy with how these came out. They feel just like any regular sausage, so we definitely got the proper amount of bind on there. Woo, they are toasty though. So now, of course, we need to let these rest for about, I don't know, 15-10 minutes or so, and then we'll dive on in. All right, folks, I think it's time to dive into these. Pretty unique looking. They look a little wrinkly, but they feel very firm. So let's go ahead and slice one up. Ooh, look at that. There's a little bullseye effect from all the smoke. You see this, that subtle smoke ring? Almost made it all the way through. That is unique. I've never seen that with pork before. Freak people out. Why is the pork red? I don't know. Beautiful bind on that. Clearly nice and juicy. Ooh, let's see how it came out. Whoa, that is very juicy, very tasty. I was expecting to say that it's just bland, but it's very porky, to say the least. You know, usually it's full of garlic and other herbs and spices, black pepper, so to really just truly taste the pork is kind of a unique experience. It tastes like ham. It tastes exactly like ham. That is not what I was expecting. I take back what I said. I think you guys should try this. Ooh, that smoke ring is so bizarre looking. Tastes like a lunch meat or something. Very porky, very juicy, good amount of smoke on there, clearly. I mean, the end cut is pretty much smoked all the way through. I wonder if I smoked this for another hour or so, if we would have got full smoke penetration. Bizarre. That is a very pleasant sausage. Wow. Should we give the old snap test? Oh, still hot. Nice and juicy though. Well, I think I proved my point that you only need salt and good technique to make a tasty sausage. I honestly might make this again. That's very good. There's a bind on it too. Perfect emulsion. It's nice and tight, but not quite hot dog or bologna tight. Very tasty stuff.
What's this?
Sausage. Would you like to try it?
Yes, please. It looks different. It's very plump.
It is quite plump.
What's going on here? Well, there is a little bit of browning in the middle and then pink on the outside.
It's bizarre looking, I'll tell you that.
It's like an eyeball.
Or a butthole.
It's good. Is it ham? Like a honey ham?
Close.
It's pork though.
It's definitely pork.
Yeah.
Very porky. Do you like it?
I do like it. Yeah. It's very like approachable, mild. I don't know. Literally, it tastes like deli meat.
That's what I was just saying. It tastes like ham or a lunch meat.
Yeah. I like the color.
So this is a 1 ingredient sausage. It is pork, pork casings, smoke, and then just salt.
Wow, okay. Well, the fact that I thought it was like a honey ham.
That's what I said too before you came out. It tastes like ham.
It was good.
Smoky salt pork
Yeah.
equals ham. I was doing this more as a exercise to show that with proper technique, you don't need to add fancy ingredients to get a quality sausage.
Yeah, definitely not.
But it's kind of blowing my mind a little bit.
I would have never guessed that there was just one ingredient in that.
No cure,
Yeah.
no spices, nothing. Just smoked salt and pork.
Well, it's delicious.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this bullseye effect you were talking about,
Yeah,
that's
how does
just
that
the
work?
smoke ring penetrating.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, and I was like, I don't know.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's intense. Like how big of a smoke ring that is.
Yeah, it almost looks like you put beef in the middle or
Yeah.
something, and then pork around it somehow. I don't know how you would case that, but
Honestly, I think this would be a great sausage to use as an ingredient itself. Like if you're going to put this into like a stew or into like a crawfish boil or something like
yeah,
that. because
something that
it's-
it'll just add a little bit of like smokiness too.
Yeah, add
and-
some smoke, add some, you
But
know.
it's not stealing the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's a unique one for sure. I think it would go great in a hoagie with some mustard. Oh, what happened to that bun?
Wow, they cut that real bad.
This is why I make my own buns.
No, I don't need that much. No, put the coins in there. All right, that's fine.
I'm a chef. Boop.
Boop, boop. Okay, enough.
That's the most lazy thing I've ever done on this channel.
Little after-school snack. I don't know what else you'd want.
A little mustard is all you need.
Truly.
Huh.
That's funny.
Tasty, juicy, smoky. Mm-hmm. What do you need? I know what we need. We need the official taste test.
This is an uncured sausage.
You can tell.
And this is a poultry sausage.
Is it turkey sausage?
It's not turkey.
It has pork in it. Is it like chicken and bacon?
It's 100% pork.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just
Really
like
good.
all bacon?
No bacon.
It tastes like bacon.
No cure.
It's clean.
This is just a straight up pork sausage, no cure.
Yeah.
Is there like sweet? There's like a little bit of sweetness to it.
I want to tell you,
Yeah.
nothing is in that except for salt.
I was gonna say
Really?
it's clean. It's super clean.
That's
Yeah.
salt, pork, and smoke.
It's really good. It's clean. Like it's just
It's bizarre, right?
yeah. It's really good.
Honestly, it tastes like bacon.
It does. But we were saying earlier, it just tastes like ham,
Yes.
which is weird because there's no cure in it. It's just smoky, salty pork.
It's a delicious sausage.
All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make an absolutely incredible, very simple, one ingredient, just salt pork sausage. I had a whole speech lined up where I was gonna say, I wouldn't recommend trying this at home because I just did this to prove a point that with proper technique, you can make a great sausage with just salt and pork. But honestly, after trying it, you saw Brooks and my genuine reactions. It's a very tasty link, and I do highly recommend giving it a try, especially if you're new to sausage making. This takes out a lot of the guesswork. This is why my videos end at night, by the way. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you do give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace!